This video is going to talk about how to solve the coordinate graphing assignments that have been sent to you virtually. So you're going to notice that on the first slide there are instructions. The instructions will probably be there, but after a while you're going to kind of start to get the hang of it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to slide number 2. And on slide number 2 you're going to notice two main things. First, there are some answers that are in this top box. It says A equals -8, C equals 10, E equals 13. Second, down here, there are some letters and a blank. A lot of times after this one, almost every time after this one actually, there's going to be a math problem that you need to solve in order to figure out if the answer is to be able to figure out what the answer is. In this one, though, it just gives you the answer because this is the practice for this. So please rest assured that it will get more challenging next time, but for this one, it's getting to know you. Or you're getting to know it. Something. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this first blank. It says C. Well, I know that C equals 10 because the answer's up in the box. So I need to put an answer here, but I can't just take my pencil and put the answer. Please don't write on the screen with your pencil or pen or anything. Covex didn't tell you to do that. You're going to go up into the menu and you're going to hit Insert Text Box. And we are literally going to insert a text box right here, C equals 10, so I'm going to type 10. There we go, my answer's there. Now for A, I know that A equals -8, so I'm going to go to Insert, Text Box. I'm going to put a text box over here, and we're going to put -8. There we go. I've got another answer. Now, let's say that I want to put something in for that letter B, but I forget and I put my text box in the wrong spot. Oh no. Well, first I know that B is 1. So what I can do is I can, first of all, you can adjust the size of your text box. You should definitely know this if you don't already, by putting your mouse over the text box and finding those little blue dots. I'm going to make it smaller just so it's not obnoxious for later. And I'm going to drag my answer over to that blank B. And then I need to figure out what J is. I know that J equals 16, so we're going to insert text box. We're going to go ahead and put 16 in there. And you can see that my answer is kind of floating a little bit down because there's not a whole lot of room. That is okay. Please don't stress unnecessarily about the exact placement of the text box. Can you move it? Absolutely. Do you have to? Not necessarily. As long as you can read it, I'm okay. So now we get to the point where let's pretend like all of these are done, because some of these you do have to figure out on your own. The answers are right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into this last slide, slide number 3, that has a whole bunch of dots on it. The problem is the dots are in the wrong spot. So we need to go back to slide number 2. And do you see where it says that first coordinate pair, that first ordered pair says 10, -8 based on the answers that we gave? Well, that means that our first point is going to be 10, -8. So I'm going to go back to the grid. You're going to see that the grid is literally the background, so you can't move it on accident. Hopefully that will be helpful. So for my 10, -8, I'm going to go to the grid. I'm going to take a point, and it might help me if I start the point right at the center. But what I know is that I need to move this point. It needs to be a run of 10 and a jump of -8. I like to think of ordered pairs as run and then jump, because the first thing this dot's going to do is it's going to run 10 spaces. Now, positive 10 is going to go to the right. If it was negative, it would go to the left, but this is a positive 10. So I'm going to move that dot all the way over to 10. And then my next letter A, that second point is -8, so that's a jump of -8, and if you're jumping -8, you're actually going down. So I'm going to move it down 8 spots, and it's going to sit right there. And I can double check by hitting run 10, jump -8. There are other videos that you're able to watch if you'd like more practice with the actual graphing. Please go and watch those. Now, the next dot says 116. So on my next dot, I'm going to take another dot. I'm going to go ahead and sit here, and I'm going to run 1. And actually, if you really want to, you can use your arrow keys to move it, but it won't be as precise, so you have to be careful because it won't add up to the... You can't push the button just once and it'll move one spot on the coordinate grid. See how it doesn't line up nice? So I would suggest that you move it with the mouse, but that's really up to you how you do it. But it's run 1, jump 16. So this is going to move up 16 spots, all the way up there. It'd be really nice if it was super lined up, but I understand if it's not 1000%. Now, the thing about coordinate graphing, the thing with these assignments, are that you are supposed to connect the dots. So this dot gets connected to this dot, 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 and then you stop. And then you start a new dot here and you connect it to this one, and then you stop. So let's go ahead and let's connect these two first dots up. It's really important if you connect the dots in the beginning because otherwise you lose track of which dot is supposed to be connected where. So let's go to Insert, Line. We're going to go ahead and we're going to insert that line. I'm going to click on the first dot, and it's going to automatically put in the other part of the line. I don't want it there, so I'm going to move the other part of the line up to that dot. And now I have a line. The line doesn't really pop that much, so maybe what I want to do is I want to click on the line and I want to come over to the settings and change the line color, or maybe I want to make it a little bit more noticeable. That's completely up to you. It depends on how much time you have to make it work and what you need to do to be able to see it. But that is what we do for the first two dots. Now we come back over here. We have AA. Both of those A's are -8. I should absolutely make sure. You should be doing all of this beforehand. My goal is not to give you the answers for the entire sheet because, well, I'd like you to be able to complete the entire sheet on your own with just a little bit of guidance from the video. So we have that -8 there. We're going to go ahead, insert another text box. I'm going to put another -8 there. So the next point is -8, -8. So I'm going to go ahead and take another dot, go back to the origin, run -8, which is backwards, and move it, well, sometimes you accidentally resize the dot, so you might have to hit Control Z. Control Z is the undo button. We're going to move -8 and then come all the way down to -8. Oh, look, we had a -8 before, and it's telling me it's going to line up. Now, I need to connect these dots again, so I'm going to Insert, Line. We're going to connect this dot, pull it all, whoop, got to be careful where we grab things. It's important in real life too. Come all the way down here and drop it. And I'm going to change the line color. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker so I can see it. See how that doesn't 100% line up? That's okay. As long as it's close, we're good. So then the next dot would be connected here. It always connects up to the last dot. The rest of this assignment is yours to complete.